They're bringing all the athletes back out. And once again, I want to thank everybody who has been entering the big giveaway contest tonight. I know the prizes are there listed on our viewing page, and we've got a lot of excited people have been putting in their email addresses. We're going to be selecting winners tonight. We're going to be selecting them over the next week or so. If you're watching this show, even on replay, go ahead and enter, because we're going to be extending some of these giveaways through the week, right up to the Arnold, Australia. So plenty of opportunities. We're going to send it down to the table where head judge Steve Weinberger is going to fill everyone in on how the judges see it, and this is where things are going to start to get a little more interesting.
Judges taking this time to compare them side by side now. Saw them at the pre-judging. Time to see them at the finals.
Cedric, Justin, Josh, and Kai.
Well, it's the same way it went down earlier at pre-judging, that same first four-man call-out, right? And of course, the big surprise was
Josh
Leonardo with that first call-out. So a real opportunity for him to get himself into a great spot here at the Columbus. You can be sure right now one of the happiest guys in Columbus is Josh Leonardo.
He's having some fun on stage. He's just happy to be there, right?
It's like a love fest on that side.
Everybody's happy, right?
Quite a contrast from the Phil Kai battle circa a year and a half ago at the Olympia. So it's nice to see these guys getting along, but now it's time to battle.
So Chad, break this down for us, man. Like, what are we looking at? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Who's winning these poses?
I'll tell you what, I mean, I think this morning Kai had a little tiny film, but you noticed as soon as he turned to the side, that serratus, everything wrapping into that lat again, all the way down into his hip. This is a different Kai Green, and this makes a different battle.
A lot of talk about the importance of the midsection and the control of the midsection. So Ben, break that down as it relates to these two top contenders, the midsections of Kai and Cedric.
Just looking at the length of the midsection, that's a big significant factor, right? Kai's midsection is really, really short. Cedric's is really long. So obviously, for someone who's got a shorter midsection, there's nowhere for those insides to go. If it grows even a little bit, it's going to grow out. Cedric's got a lot longer torso, so his midsection is not going to be tending to stick out, and that's a huge advantage for him. Chad, do you think Kai's unorthodox posing helps him or hinders him, or is it a distraction for the judges at all?
I think it is. Sometimes, I'll tell you, I mean, you mentioned he's a little bit shorter, and he's got to pay attention to that, because when he sets down on those ribs, then he's going to kind of pooch out a little bit, and then when he lifts them back up, he flattens back out. He's so much better tonight, though. I'll tell you what, I mean, this morning I was not impressed. Tonight, this is the Kai that we had expected to see. This makes it very interesting.
Now, when he turns to the side, I thought he would be more aware of keeping that stomach really, really tight. He is letting it hang a little bit, and you know, if Arnold's watching and Arnold likes that itty bitty waist.
Keep in mind, Arnold, for the record, is not on the judges panel. Let's remember that, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't see that crisp sharpness of Kai this morning, and that's there tonight, that lower lat, that all the way down into the lower back. I mean, that's what we expect from Kai. But not taking anything away from Cedric. Cedric has maintained his conditioning. Kai has just improved.
Advantage Kai there, of course.
Side tricep.
Yeah, and Justin, who really stood out last year and made himself a factor, is kind of a non-factor in this line of four, I think. I mean, especially from the back, it seems like he's just not even relevant.
But he's in the line of four, so you know it's going to be a situation where he's going to really benefit, I think, from the way this lineup unfolded and get himself into that top 3 or 4 at the Arnold Classic. So with all the things we've said critically of him, it's going to be a formidable placing for him at the end of the day.
The guy's obviously got a hell of a physique. It's a beautiful physique with tons of muscle. So.
You know, it's interesting because this morning I was really favoring Cedric. Tonight I'm really favoring Kai. If the score is split like that, then it could potentially come down to an entertaining posing routine versus a classic posing routine.
Thank you, gentlemen. Kai and Cedric back in line, please.
Kai's in a real good mood tonight.
He looks more confident. I was just going to say, this is a different Kai Green.
Max and Evan.
Well, everyone wants a spot in that coveted top 6, and Ben, we're going to start to see some movement now to see how that's going to unfold. There are 4 spots up for grabs that we know right now in the top 6, because the top 2 is obviously pretty clear at this point.
So we're looking at 3rd through 8th here. So they're looking at pulling 4 of these guys and bringing them back in the top 6 for the callouts.
Reg in between Justin and Juan.
I think you got to put Max in the top 6. I mean, the guy just looks phenomenal. His legs don't look like a weakness whatsoever. His structure is essentially flawless, and his legs have come up tremendously.
Yeah, I think it's
Quarter turn to the right.
Evan, Juan, and Branch who are kind of maneuvering to get into that top 6. And at this point, Chad, who do you see as the odd guys out so
Quarter
far?
turn to the right.
I'll tell you what I mean. I agree. I think Max looks great, and I think he's so dry that it gives him that little edge. I don't know, man. I'll tell you. I mean, Branch. People want to call him out, but I mean, he's got that grainy hardness, and when you look at Juan, he's still lacking a little bit. The same with Evan. It's a toss-up when you look at those guys. I mean, do you like Branch's gnarly look versus maybe a little bit more better structure with Juan and Evan?
Front double
I
bicep.
think Branch is going to slide into 6th.
I was just told that the one prize that we're going to be giving out live on the air tonight is the VIP tickets to next year's Arnold Classic. That's going to happen only in about 45 minutes to an hour on our post show. We're going to get the information. We're going to have the home office send in the email on the selection process, and we're going to make that announcement. So I just want to let you guys know you only have about an hour to get those emails in to have a chance to win the 2 VIP tickets for the 2017 Arnold Classic a year from now in Columbus.
As close as Kai and Cedric is, I'm going to tell you, Josh and Compton are also very, very close. I mean, they both have strengths, they both have weaknesses. I think that these guys, I mean, they're going back and forth. This could be a really, really close battle for that 3rd and 4th spot.
Back double bicep.
Josh is one of those kids that as he poses, he just continues to get better.
Do you think the energy and the attitude they're giving off affects the judges? Josh just looks so happy, so confident. He's bouncing up in there, bouncing into his poses. I think that plays a role. And you know what? From the back right there, he's winning that pose, and that's a big, big thing.
Spread out a little bit and hit a back lat spread.
Now, is there any chance they're comparing Compton and Max here, Chet?
That's what I'm thinking too, because I think again, Compton is starting to fade a little bit more like he did as he poses. He's kind of releasing a little bit, and he starts to fade a little bit. Max is really dry. I mean, his knock has always been intricate, like that intricate detail. He's dry, and in his shots, he looks great.
I haven't seen one pose that Justin beats him on yet, to be honest. Justin's thing is he's a mass monster with detail, and Max is right there being a mass monster with better detail.
Both wide, yeah, right.
Yeah, and a smaller waist. And it looks like his legs are probably just as good, if not better.
We see that a lot in these contests. The guy who comes in, he's kind of working his way up. Sometimes he's got to, show it at more than one event, right? Because Max, I think, kind of took some of these judges by surprise, to be fair. And I know the judges, they judge the physiques that are in front of them, but it's just human nature, right? When you kind of get blindsided, Max looks really good tonight.
Justin just looks like he's fading every time he poses.
You can see him starting to release that water.
He's letting the water out.
Sure.
Josh is having a ball out there, and that was a great shot. And that hands-on hip is a great shot for that kid.
Smile ear to ear.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Back in line. Poses like a professional.
Tony, Johnny, Lucas, and Cody.
Well, it's only a 12-man lineup this year at the Arnold Classic, so the combinations shouldn't be too extensive here as we go through the final rounds. And if I had to guess, they're going to probably, after this, bring back to the center our top 2 guys tonight, Kai Green, Cedric McMillan. But now we'll take in this, what appears to be the final call-out.
Quarter turn to the right.
Of course, for Cody Montgomery. He is 21, and he's standing next to a 49-year-old Tony Freeman. How about that contrast?
I know it's the youngest and oldest. So I'll tell you what. I mean, I like Cody in this call.
Right.
I mean, I think he dominates the majority of these turns. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. He knows how to present himself. If you look at him in comparison to the rest of the guys, I think he wins his call.
Well, we joked earlier during prejudging that
front double
Tony Freeman was 28 years old. A baby was born named Cody Montgomery. So there's some perspective for you guys.
Cody has an eerie similarity for me to Flex Lewis. I mean, some of these lines are very, very similar.
Front lat spread.
Especially the legs, the back, his quarter turns from the side, all look very, very similar to Flex Lewis. Obviously, Flex is substantially older now, but a young Flex Lewis.
Side chest. Back double bicep.
go through these final rounds, I want to just make sure we mention once again our great sponsors for enabling us to bring this to you guys at no charge. They really stepped up in a big way and helped us do what we had to do so that the whole world can watch the 2016 Arnold Classic. Our friends at nutritionactivesport.com, of course, everyone over at Evogen Nutrition, Mi40 Muscle Intelligence Training, Ben Pekulski's great muscle building program, Prime Fitness Equipment, primefitnessusa.com, GASP, Better Bodies, our store over at gaspbb.com, our friends over at Blackstone Labs, Aaron and PJ, great supporters of what we're doing here, Jimmy and the crew over at Beauty Fit. So again, we thank all of you guys for all you great companies for stepping up and allowing us to put this production together. So we're in the final moments of prejudging, and we'll let you guys watch Steve take him through the motions. And Chad, I'd love to just get your take, just real quick, because we're going to see him in just a second. But a lot of us were thinking that Kai Green was going to show up and make the adjustments and reclaim this show. When I say reclaim this show, there was a period where it looked like Cedric had him, and now it feels like it's shifting just a little bit.
I agree. I think that he has done what he needed to do in between prejudging and finals. He's tightened up. He's been able to manipulate that water and dry out, and I think it is a very, very close race right now.
Well, here it goes.